So now I'm going to get some epoxy resin. We're going to put the resin in all four corners. Don't need loads. This is a 50-50 mix. Ready. There we go. Here's our resin on this little stick. Now, as you see here, I'm going to put the resin mainly in the top. So it's the top here, and it's in the semicircular bit. Oh damn! Put that back in a minute. So it's in. I don't know if you can see it here. In that top bit there. Yeah, it's really in the edges, so that the bezel will just fit over it and slot in nicely into this, and it will just adhere to the plastic and metal, keep it nice and tight. Bit in the bottom. So you're really putting it in the curves, and it's where the bezel curves as well. It'll just hold it. Ooh. I'm just using forks, and make sure you don't go over the screw holes, because you have to drill it out to get the screws in, because the epoxy just sets like in concrete. Right, 1, 2, so 4 corners. I'll just drop something. Yeah, I'll drop the button. Okay, just get a little bit more, may as well pick it up. I find the top right corner, this is a bit back to front, but the top right corner is the place where you need the most, because on the left hand side you've got a screw hole, and the bezel screws down to this, so it pulls it down on the left, and the dot connector, when it goes in the bottom, screws down to the bezel, and the dot connector screws to the actual housing, and the bezel screws down to the dot connector, so it kind of pulls it down there. So the main place is the top right. Now we've got that done. That's the resin. Now what we're going to do is get your bezel, which is all nice and sanded and looks really nice, and put it on top there. Yeah, it's all nice and neat. Clip there. All lovely. Right. There we go. Okay. Now I found the best way to clamp this. I've tried everything, bits of wood across there with big clamps. What I found eventually and settled on were these little micro clips. And I've got 4 of them in my toolbox. 4 of these. Yeah. So you've got these, and then you use your screen. It's just the most obvious thing, but I didn't think of it until I tried everything else, because it's going to equally distribute distribute the pressure evenly over the whole unit. It's just obvious, but there you go. Tried everything else except. Oh, and I've just screwed up. I didn't put the volume button. Make sure, really just check, because once it sets, you're not going to really get the volume button in. There is a way, but you've got to split the button and stuff, and it's stupid. It's just a hassle. So, right, anyway, let's get that back in. Right, that is nearly a really nice bezel and back housing. Right, get your screen, put it over the top, just put your screen down. Now, pressure there, it's pushing it down lovely. What we're going to do is we're going to clip the 4 sides, and it's just going to keep that bezel against the housing, and we're going to get a lovely glue down bezel. And it's really important for it to be nice and flush because when you do the complete headphone jack circuit, the buttons really rely on the stability of the mute bracket, so they get that nice clicky feel to them. If you don't get that, oh, it's just horrible. You want to try and get it as close to the original as possible. Right, 2, 3, 4. So that's plenty. You see there, it's really nice and tight against that. There's an amazing amount of tension in these springs. They are quite strong. If you take one of them, I found, just take one, it doesn't feel that much, still quite a lot. You could take 2 in your fingers, you start to feel how much pressure there is. So yeah, they really are good, and this is the best way I've found to do it. It just holds it all down nicely. But experiment, you may find a better way. So that really, for the minute, is it. We've got to wait for the epoxy resin to dry. So that will give you a nice foundation to put all the other parts in. So I'm going to stop the clip here.